Perfect, my friend. What are you doing in Taiwan?
I do not live in Taiwan. I currently live and am based in Norway, but I travel a lot for work. So I'm
Yeah,
currently in Taiwan for some surfing and surf coaching.
nice. Wow, that's wonderful. I have saw your YouTube look like your chart. Are you afraid of going in the water or not anymore?
No, no, I'm not scared of surfing and being in the water anymore. I mean, many times when I surf in areas where there are sharks, I do think about it, but I don't have that fear that grips me and prevents me from surfing. So I'll think about it, and maybe sometimes I'll get like a fright if I see something. But no, I feel like I don't live life in that fear anymore, which is good.
Mhm. Wow. But did you work with some therapy with psychology to get in the water again or no?
No, no, I did not need that. I before my shark attack, I was never religious. But on my shark attack, or the day of my shark attack, I had like a crazy experience. And because I was gonna die, I was like attacked by these two sharks, left in the water all by myself, alone, no one in the water to help me out, and I was helpless and hopeless and useless, and there was no way I could fight the sharks. So on that day, in that moment, I cried out to Jesus, "Please, Jesus, help me out!" And I felt like that He heard me and helped me get out the water safely. And ever since that day onwards, I decided to dedicate my life to Him, and so I feel like He helped me overcome all that fear. So I did not need any therapy.
Wow. Yeah, I live in Monterrey, Mexico. I have you been to Mexico?
I have twice, yes.
Yes. Yeah, and I like doing like diving and stuff, but it's safer because you know where is the shark. But when you are surfing, you don't have any idea.
Yes, yes, that's true. Yeah. I've never been, well, I've been diving once with sharks, like in a tank. And when you see them face to face, eye to eye, like on this level, it's a bit different. And then I've been snorkeling a few times with some sharks as well, and it's fun. But yeah, I think the worst thing is when you're on top of the water on your surfboard, you don't know what's down there, and the sharks can often come and sneak up on you and give you a surprise visit or a surprise attack. And I think that's what puts fear in people's lives and minds and hearts because they don't see what's coming. They don't know what's down there.
Mhm. Wow. And what did your family tell you about that experience?
Good question. My mom said it was a sign that I need to quit surfing. My dad said, Shannon, I'll support you no matter what you decide. If you quit surfing, I'll support you. If you carry on, I'll support you. And when I decided to carry on surfing, my dad really supported me and thought that it was really good that I was able to face those fears and overcome them. My mom took her a few years to get over the fact that I continued surfing, but now she's okay with it.
Wow. And well, I have a lot of questions, my friend, but uh, mm, have you done any conference about that? Have companies invited you for doing speeches?
Yes, yeah, yeah. I've done many like talks and interviews and reenactments on the shark attack. So like some documentaries and some interviews here and there, but also like I do some motivational talking and public speaking. And I've been asked to share my testimony at companies and businesses and groups and clubs. So I get the chance to share the story, which is nice because it's an incredible story of how I survived, but there are a lot of life lessons to be learned from that story as well. So for people to learn from that and to take that into their own lives helps a lot.
Wow. And what are your goals for the future?
Oh, good question. Well, full time, I am a surf coach, and so I run surf coaching retreats and coaching in person and online surf coaching for surfers between, say, low intermediate to advanced and elite level surfing. So that's what I do. And my goal is to continue doing that because I absolutely love it. And then with that, I also use surfing as a tool to try make a difference and to also bring in some parallels and life lessons from surfing into our own life. So, for example, in surfing, have you ever tried surfing before?
Me no, actually, and it is curious that because my father is very good surfer, but me no.
Okay, nice. Because surfing is a difficult sport, but it's super nice. And when you learn to surf, your goal is to catch the wave, stand up, surf the waves, and try to do tricks. But often the wave will crash on you and you will fall off and you will get tumbled by the wave. Other times you ride it and you have a lot of fun. And life is like that as well. Sometimes in life, whether relationships or finances or work or personal issues, you ride the wave, it's nice, it's good, it's fun. Other times you wipe out, you fall off, you fail, and you have to get up and try again. So that's why I like surfing, because there's so many life lessons to be learned. And for me as a surf coach, to teach people how to surf a wave, but also to take those lessons into life and to see how we as surfers can live and ride waves of life is really good. So I enjoy it. So my goals are always focused around surfing, you know.
Wow, I wanted to do actually, but I am a professional athlete in other sports, so I am very focused on that sport. But
What sport is that?
street lifting,
Okay,
like
nice.
calisthenics, yeah, like calisthenics.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. But I love I love the sea. When I have time, I go to how I say like fishing. I do
Okay,
fishing
nice.
sometimes diving, but I love a lot about surfing, and I also love like to watch interviews about people like people that survive in strange environments, and I and sometimes I see your story, and it's pretty wonderful. How old are you, my friend? 45? 40,
I'm 40.
40. Wow.
Yeah.
But you still compete or no?
No, no. I haven't competed in a surf contest in a long time.
Mhm.
But a lot of my students compete because I also train the Norwegian national surf team and they surf in international contests. And then I also coach other clients around the world who compete internationally. So yeah, maybe one day I'll compete again a little bit here and there, but not yet.
But to compete in the Olympics for your age, is it still possible, or you feel like it is like harder?
Yeah, it is possible. It is more difficult as you get older, of course.
Yeah.
But the way you surf the Olympics is through qualification. So you can qualify through your region, and so it depends which region. So it's got nothing to do with necessarily your age for now, and also like your rankings worldwide. It's like rankings per region. So there are ways to qualify for the Olympics, and I mean, there's a guy called Katie Slater who is 52 years old, and he surfed the Olympics, you know,
Mhm.
and he does well. He's a really good surfer. He has won 11 world titles, and he's still one of the best surfers in the world at age 52. Although I think he just turned 53. So yeah,
53. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here in Mexico, there are good surfers. There are some good surfers, but it is not too common here in Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. There's some very good waves in Mexico. Actually, there's for the first time ever, there's a Mexican surfer who is on the World Surf Tour with the top 34 surfers in the world. So he's really good. His name is Alan Cleveland.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then there's an you know him, yeah?
yeah.
And then there's another half Mexican, half South African whose name is Sebastian Williams, who's a professional surfer. And he was this close from qualifying for the Olympics. So hopefully for the next one he can qualify.
Yeah. And how are the prices? The prices are good money in surfing?
Yes, yeah. If you surf the world tour, which has the top 34 surfers in the world, then on that level you make a lot of money. But if you just competing and you're competing in amateur contests, then you cannot make a full-time living from that. So you have to be, I'd say the top 200 surfers in the world, like the best surfers in the world, like they can actually make a living off surfing. But besides that, a lot of people try and it's quite difficult.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for example, my sports is you don't make too much money in my sports, but
Yeah.
it's because it is new.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hopefully as it grows, it's possible.
yeah, hopefully, hopefully. Yeah, yeah. And what else do you do? Do you do surfing online classes?
Yes, yeah. So I do online surf coaching, and the way it works is people send me videos of themselves surfing, and then we have a Zoom call like this, and we analyze their surfing. Or the other option is I make a video edit and I
Mhm.
send an analysis back, and so that's what I do.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I have a YouTube channel where I do surf tutorials and make surf adventure videos and shark stories and stuff like that. So I've got a bit of everything, and then I also run courses to qualify surfers to become instructors or coaches. So it's all based around surfing, and it's super nice and fun. It keeps me busy and adventurous, I guess.
Yeah, and for example, do you need a city with good waves? Because for you to be able to compete, I guess you cannot train in some cities.
True, yeah. Some places are definitely better. Like Mexico has really good waves,
Yeah, yeah.
and America has good waves. Australia, South Africa, Hawaii, Brazil. But there are some places like Norway where I've been based for the last while, where the waves are not so good and it's not very consistent. And then it's more difficult, and also the weather is so bad and windy and brutal. It's more difficult. But if it's consistent enough, if you can surf on a regular basis, you can still get really good and you can still practice. So there
Mhm.
are places with, like, say, average to bad waves where it's still good enough for you to get very good at surfing. But then you have places that um, have waves, but it's very small, inconsistent, and unpredictable, and then it's not so easy to get good. However, I don't know if you've ever seen, but they're making a lot of artificial wave pools around the world these days.
Mhm.
So some landlocked countries and cities have wave pools. Like they just had a surf competition in Dubai last week in
Yeah.
this wave pool. And so now, like with those amazing wave pools and the technology behind that, like it's going to change the way we see surfing in the future, because you'll eventually get a country or a city with no waves, but with good surfers if they have one of these wave pools.
Wow, wow. That's and for example, some person like, do you think skating translate to surfing?
Yeah, I think skating and also snowboarding help a lot with surfing.
Yeah.
The only thing is it only helps you when you get to a certain level in surfing. And the main reason why is because if you look at snowboarding, the mountain stays the same. If you look at skateboarding, the street or the park stays the same. If you look at surfing, the ocean changes every day. Every day the waves are different, and
Mhm.
each wave is different. So to learn to read the ocean and read the waves and to have the correct position and timing is one of the most difficult things to learn in surfing. But once you get to that level, then I'd say skating and snowboarding both help with surfing.
Yeah, yeah, I remember I surfed one time like what one the last year, but I couldn't get up in. Well, I just tried 1 hour, but I guess it is not enough. Yeah, but
I'm sure you can try again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I do, and I do a lot of running and other sports, but I guess I don't have balance, so I need to work a lot of on balance.
Yeah, it's a difficult sport compared to all sports I've tried. Surfing is the one that takes the longest to progress. But it's also, out of all the sports I've tried, when you get to a certain level, it's the most rewarding and the most addictive sport I've ever tried. But up until you get there, it's difficult and frustrating. But
Yeah.
then when you get there, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, yeah. And you do like gym conditional training for the legs, for the knees, I guess.
Yes, yeah, I do quite a bit of surf specific training, stretching, mobility workouts, cardio, strength training, all based around surfing. And then I use some of that and do some training with my athletes too. And it's really good. It helps a lot. So like I do some running, I do some body weight workouts, and I do some breath training and a few other things here and there. And it helps a lot.
Yeah, I would love to. I really really love to practice. Well, in here in my city there is no sea, so I cannot practice. But the next year I probably will travel to other place, and maybe I can try. But the thing is that if you surf, you get tired, right? Because of of you need to be like swimming, and you get tired if you go to the gym, I guess.
Yes, but I think you can do it. You are, and you seem like you're a fit guy. So if you surf a couple of times and you get a surf instructor to teach you the basics and the building blocks of surfing or the foundations of surfing, you will be able to get it right. So anyway, if you ever if you ever in my area, I can take you surfing and I'll get you surfing on the first day.
Yeah, I prefer in person because online it's like kind of hard because you need to wait to the coach for they to reply. So yeah, so
Exactly.
yeah,
And I'll take you surfing with some sharks too if you want.
yeah. And for example, like a person that well, I haven't skated in like 12 years, so I have long time without skating. I was so. But how many, let's say, if I want to compete like a good level, well, let's say in a world championships, not maybe not winning, but in world championship level, how many years could it take me? Like 3 years, 5 years?
It's a good question because I'd say like the youngest surfers that are currently competing on the world tour are between 18 and 20 years old. But then they start surfing when they maybe 5 years old. So that's say 13 to 15 years of surfing. But if you start surfing at the age of 20, it's impossible. There's no way you will make the world tour. So you need to start at a very young age and surf like every single day, get some surf coaching, do a lot of training, eat well, do mental preparation, and then you will maybe make it. But yeah, if you start too late, then you won't make it because in Norway, most of the surfers only start surfing when they're 19 years old. And then when they get to say 40 years old, they can surf pretty well, but they're not nearly good enough to do well in an international contest. So you need to start at a very young age to get the fundamentals in surfing and to build on top of that quickly and easily. And then you can see some potential to qualify for the tour.
Mhm. Perfect. And one last question. For example, my Instagram, well, it's not related for surfing, but I want to try to grow my Instagram account. I am just training for Guinness World Records. No, I don't do competition. I will do it at the next year because I am focused on Guinness World Records. I guess a lot of your followers came to the Shark, of the Shark account. Story. Of course, a lot of people are following you for that and the competition. But what advice could I have to grow my Instagram? Because my Instagram it is very little, and I try to grow it, but I haven't been able to get as many clients as like you.
Yeah, it's a very good question. It's a difficult thing for me too because a lot of my videos do very bad, and then some of my videos do extremely well. So it's a matter of making good content
Uh-huh.
that people really want to see, and if you can get um, everyone's attention within the first 2 seconds, then they will more than likely stay and watch the whole video. If the first 2 seconds are boring, people are just going to scroll past and forget about it. And then that affects the algorithm. So if you can get a nice hook and get your audience's attention in the first 2 seconds, somehow that will be really good. And then, yeah, you just need to make something that's eye-catching, or something that's educational, or something that no one's doing, something that just like blows people's minds. And I'd say that's the best way to do it. And it's a difficult thing because there are so many good creators out there making amazing content. And everyone wants to like get a lot of followers and subscribers, but to make good content is not easy these days.
And I guess, do you hire somebody for manage your accounts?
No, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Just do it all myself. But yeah, fortunately, like I've got or I've had a couple of good videos that did well. Like for example, the shark attack, like you mentioned, people like that, and then I can make several stories in and around that, which brings in attention. And then also I've had an incident with orcas or killer whales also on video, and that also brought people's attention and that they enjoyed that. And then I've had other videos like surfing over a shark, and that brought people's attention. And then some of my YouTube, so some of my surfing tutorials have done pretty well too, like teaching people certain surfing tricks and common errors and common mistakes. Those things, some of those have done pretty well as well. So it's not only the shark, it's also some of the surf related things. And then I've also lived and surfed in the Arctic a lot. And, people don't understand that you can surf in the Arctic where it's extremely cold and windy. So when I post some of those videos, people also find it really good. So, just making or having content that is usually not seen is going to bring a lot of attention.
And the last question, for example, you told that in Norway there are a lot of people that started at 19 years old, but they don't make it in the world championships, or they make it but not in the first place. You mentioned, right? Because they didn't start at a young age.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
What do you think is the reason? Of course, experience, but what do you think is the reason they cannot learn in 10 years what the other people have been doing for 20 years?
Yeah, it's if you look at the body mechanics and the development from like a young boy to an adult, most people progress and learn and improve from their younger ages compared to the adults. So their teenage years, I'd say, are the most important years in terms of progression. So for someone to only start learning when they're an adult already is too late. Their body is already fully developed. So if you can teach someone a certain skill from a young age and they grow into that skill as their body grows and develops, that's a lot easier. They learn quicker. There's less injury. More muscle memory is built because they're still growing and developing. So if you look at any sport, the younger they start, the better they'll get after a few years. So it's unfortunate if they start surfing at the age of 19, even if they surf 20, 30 years and they surf every single day, they will get good, but not good enough to be a professional surfer.
So do you think is like the muscle memory? Is the muscle memory the difference?
Yeah, I'd say the muscle memory, but it's also like if you just look at the science behind body development and muscle memory development, people learn and grow the most in their younger age, in their younger years, and they grow the fastest. So that's just the way the science works behind it. But yeah, I think it's got to do with muscle memory for sure.
Yeah. And the last call that I have been saying the last question, but for example, do you know Muhammad Ali, the boxer?
Yes.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali started like at 17 years old. Yeah, something like at 17 or 19, but I guess they were different times. Because maybe the boxers at that time, they didn't started at a young age. Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. And I'm glad you brought that point up because also if you look at rugby, you know the sport rugby.
Yeah, yeah,
Like a lot of like professional rugby players also started a little bit later. So I'd say to answer your question in a better way, it probably depends on the sport.
yeah,
Like I'd say like boxing and rugby, it's got a lot more to do with like strength, and yes, it's some skill as well, and reflexes and coordination. Surfing has less strength involved, but more technical things involved in terms of like technique, weight distribution, timing, coordination, reflexes, agility. So I suppose it depends on the sport. And also Muhammad Ali was amazing. He was pretty amazing. He was like just a natural talent, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. For example, there is another. Where do you live? You are from Australia,
South Africa.
South Africa. There is another MMA fighter, Alexander Volkanovski. He was a. Do you know him?
No.
No, he was a rugby player from Australia, and he started doing MMA at 21 years old. But he was before doing a lot of rugby, and he become a world champion in the UFC. But
Wow.
it's because it is strange. And for example, me as an athlete, I am beating people that have been training for 10 years, and I've just been trained 3 years. But maybe it's because it's pure strange. And for example,
Yeah.
I guess in surfing or tennis, because I played a lot of tennis before, in surfing, in tennis, it is mental, but it is not just mental. It is more like coordination. It is a lot more things involved that in MMA or boxing, maybe your technique is not too good, but you have a lot of power or a lot of
Yes.
mental. Yeah, yeah.
It's actually a good topic to speak about, coming to think about it. And now that we're speaking about it, it makes more sense because with some sports, it's focused more on like strength and like physical strength, but also mental strength. And then some sports, you need more technique and a longer period of growth in terms of muscle memory, like surfing, for example. But then rugby and boxing and MMA, like it's probably a little bit different. I mean, it's probably still better to learn from a younger age,
Yeah.
but it probably doesn't restrict you as much as other sports.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my friend, thank you a lot for your time. I really like your story. Anything that you want to share about the shark story?
No, I think we said it. You know, I mean, you already know the shark story, and I'm just very happy and thankful to be alive. You know, because I mean, you know, two sharks attacking me at the same time, I should be dead, and I'm very happy to be alive after those great whites attacked me. And then also, it's amazing to see that it's caught on video, so people can watch and see. So yeah, I'm very thankful to be alive and that I have a second chance. And yeah, thank you for your time as well and for all the questions and conversations we had.
You told me the last year because I asked you the last year the neuroscience, yeah, the doctor that he repaired your finger. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I had the best hand surgeon in the country in the area who fixed my hand because my fingers, these two fingers were bitten off and they were hanging off like this. And then there was a bite in my hand and my wrist as well. So he fixed my hand pretty well and it works and functions perfectly. And you cannot see any scars either. It's
No.
healed pretty well.
Wow. And what do you feel when the shark bite you? Did you feel like the bite?
No, I felt no pain. I felt no bites at all. It happened so quickly and so unexpectedly that I had no idea what is going on. So it's amazing.
And did you surf the next day? I
No, my fingers
no no.
were hanging off, so I
Oh,
couldn't surf the next day. I had
oh,
to wait until my fingers were healed and fixed, and then I surfed. I'd say 6 weeks later, and then I jumped back into the water and faced my fears and surfed.
yeah. Well, thanks a lot for your time, my friend. And when are you going? When are you coming to Mexico?
Good question. I'm not too sure. Hopefully soon because I think It's a good surf destination, and I need to go visit there. If I do come, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Bye bye, my friend.
Okay, cheers, Luigi. Bye bye.
Bye bye.